Welcome to the Damn Opinion Podcast. Spoiler alert. Listener discretion advised. We tell a lot of stories on and off air.
That's true. That is true.
And so I just thought, you know what? We don't have a topic necessarily for today, but we have a lot of stories.
Right. And sometimes these stories didn't fit in our podcast. We kind of had to edit them out or edit them in or whatever.
Yep.
And so like this particular podcast is kind of be like all the lost stories that really didn't fit, right, in past podcasts. It's going to be fun.
Just listen to the tales.
Oh, enjoy.
No, don't. No, I said don't.
Come on. If you say don't record something,
Yeah,
I'm going to
we
record
can't
it.
lead like that.
I mean, you used to smother cats as a child.
No. No.
Your son-in-law is illegal.
We're getting flooring in our house.
Uh-oh. Okay, we can
So
turn it
in the
off
two
now.
bedrooms, yeah, I know. It's not exciting. But the carpets are getting ripped out tomorrow and we're putting in flooring from Costco. It's good flooring.
Oh, yeah, the good flooring
Yeah.
in Costco.
But what's
Wink, wink.
but
I'm just kidding.
scratch proof, waterproof, everything. Yeah.
Cat proof.
But exactly. But it made me realize as we're moving everything out of these two rooms that why in the hell do I have so much stuff?
Yes.
We've been asking you that for years.
I mean, I'm like, what is the point of all this? And I just want to tell everyone, quit buying shit. There's no point to buying it anymore.
Yeah.
Just literally, there's no point. Even if it's cool. Even if you're like, look, I have the only bat ever used by Babe Ruth. It doesn't matter.
We've seen your garage. We know.
It doesn't matter.
You had like 5 pairs of golf clubs.
I still have 5 pairs of golf gloves.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm cleaning it out, guys. It's going to be gone.
What are you getting rid of? Are you having a
Everything.
Are you having a sale?
I will take a picture and go, if you guys want this, come and get it. So
I can't wait for
It
that
depends.
day.
You have pretty good stuff sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
No, I'm getting. If I look at it and go, yeah, I haven't used that kayak in 2 years. It's out. You guys can have it. I don't care.
What about Lisa, though? Is she going to
She's
go
probably
with this?
fine with it because
She's probably fine with it. he
she
says.
has like 4 paddle boards. Did you know?
Will she be working on the day you have this day?
It's possible.
Okay.
She has 4 paddle boards
Okay. So she doesn't need 4. She just needs 1.
or 2.
No,
Okay.
that's true. You need 4 paddle boards.
Yeah. 1 for every season.
Have you seen her paddle? She needs like whitewater paddleboard. She needs
Yeah.
like calm water paddleboard.
whitewater.
She needs like ocean
She
paddleboard.
has a hard board and a soft board.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't be throwing those paddleboards away.
No, but we have a couple of kayaks, and I'm like, why?
Well, she's going to say you have 700 games.
I know. Well, that's
I've seen your game thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He has 700 games.
He has so. Don't you remember when he was when he lived over by
Oh,
me?
I still have them. It's 3 boxes.
in that upstairs when you played upstairs?
Yeah.
He had the whole fucking wall full of games.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was way more than what you have right
He
there.
has a shit ton because we were like, we could play this game, we could play, and we've never played any of them.
Okay.
I still have them
Never
all.
played any of them, and he was like, "What are we gonna play?"
Dude,
this
they
for?
have been
Catan?
they've been
He
at
had
my
like
house.
100 games we could be playing.
I have 2 boxes. I know exactly what those boxes are, and the funny thing is they haven't been opened in how long have we been at my house now? 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still in that box.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's what I'm talking about.
Simplify your life. bro.
That's what I'm doing
Yeah, you should.
because it's too much stuff. I can't even.
Don't throw away. Any
I don't
tools.
have the time. No, I'm keeping tools. If I do have tools, I'm not going to use. I'll just give them to you.
Okay.
Because I know you'll use them. But I'm like, what the hell?
I've put your chop saw to quite good use.
Yeah, and I mean, if I need it, I know where it is, so I can be like, "Hey, can I use my chop saw?" So
Did you ever use the chop saw?
once, that's why I got it, just once. I have a table saw I've had for 7 years, still in the box.
Yeah, a table saw is.
Still
I
have
don't use enough. If I need a table saw, I just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and have them cut it for
Well,
me.
I have one now, so there you go.
Yeah, I don't need a table saw. That takes up way too much fucking room. Table saw is if you are into woodworking and want to use a table saw.
I know.
Once off, go have them cut it for you at the lumber store.
I'm gonna have the biggest garage sale for nothing.
And when is this?
I don't know. I'm cleaning it out, so I got to go do it because I got to do it for the studio, for the garage, and for my house. So the whole thing is getting done.
So this is going to be like a spring thing?
No, I have to do it before next summer. It gets too hot.
So it'd be like a
Spring thing?
No, it could be. It could be winter.
I had to think about that for a
It
minute.
could be winter.
Winter, spring, summer, fall. That's how it goes, right?
No,
could
you're
be
like
winter.
a spring thing. I got to do it before it gets hot. Spring.
I might actually do it before the end of the year.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
All this conversation for me just cleaning my house.
Exactly. You should clean your house more often. Or not. Because I guarantee you will not clean that house. You will not get that done. You are a person who collects a lot of stuff in your garage.
I need to stop.
Yeah, you really do. I do a lot of model homes looking, but then you
need a life.
I do. It's fun for me.
All you do is take a dump in the clean toilet.
That's what I do. Yeah. The problem is that they don't always have toilet paper. So you have to use a curtain or something.
Use the curtain?
You're that weirdo just walking into the model home and they're like, hello, sir. And you're like, hello.
Oh, yeah. Alicia and I will look at each other and say, what's our story on this one? I am the king of Britain.
You know what you got to do for this one? No. You got to be like, I just got my mail order bride and we're looking for a bigger house.
Yeah, no kidding.
They want to trade me a cow, but we're really looking at a house.
You don't know how close you are.
What?
We go to a place in Loomis and, she's Filipino. And the next door neighbor comes over and says, are you thinking of buying this house? And she's like, we're looking. And she's like, are you Filipino? Because my wife's Filipino. And I want to rent out this top part of the property for my cow. We're like, what? What? What is going on
The top part of the property? Like it's on an acre of land or something?
Yeah, it was like on 3 or 4 acres. And there's a top part.
But why is he sharing that? Because only Filipinos like cows?
He was just one of those people that, thinks that they're going to bond because
he's married a woman who's Filipino.
Who's Filipino. Yes, exactly. So she was like,
my neighbor married a Filipino.
Did he?
Yes.
The one who had a heart attack?
Yes.
Okay. And so, don't get him around
she's
me.
She's like 15 years younger than him.
Oh, yeah. That's very common. I have lots of people like that. A lot of these guys that I have are military guys.
But why? I'm confused.
Well, a lot of people...
Is it hard to find somebody? Is it really that hard?
I think there's a lot of good and bad in it, to be honest with you, right?
Because our culture sucks. You don't want to marry somebody from America.
Bingo, right? You have somebody who's respectful, who's nice, who's loyal, right?
Good cook.
Yeah, whatever. And they appreciate you, right? And it's like, I was just seeing a thing on here, like, have you seen the new thing on TikTok where there was this TikTok person? Oh, yeah. He has, though. Mark has. There's this thing where it's like this woman would not get out of her car because it's a first date. She actually records this, and it is a
privilege thing. What?
Yeah, no, she's like, I am not. Yeah, they're taking her to a cheesecake factory. I am not getting out and going to a cheesecake factory.
Yeah,
and it's like what? And so then I saw a list of women. This one guy just asked women, where should you not take a person on a first date? It was like Applebee's, Chili's, any fast food, a coffee house, all these things. And it's like, okay, so in other words, I'm supposed to read your mind and take you out to the fanciest dinner ever. Like, you know
where I took Lisa the very first time I went out with her?
Where?
Before we went to the Delta King, which was a nice place.
Jack in the Box.
No.
Wendy's.
No. I took her by a cemetery.
That's not surprising with you.
Yeah.
That's the very first place because I had to kill time before we went to our reservation.
And what better place to take your date than a cemetery?
When you're killing time. No, actually, it's because I had a story about saving the cemetery.
Of course you did, weirdo.
So I can't believe so I shared the story, and I'm like, that cemetery back there was completely forgotten until I came along and actually.
When I see Lisa next, I'm gonna say you got what you deserve. You should have right then.
Wow,
you should have run then.
Yeah, I think my first date was Etere's, right? That's a nice little place. It's a very nice bakery / lunchy place. And it's nice.
It's just typical.
Is it typical? A bakery thing?
Yeah,
it's nice.
Etere's.
Yeah, is that a typical first date, though?
Hey, at least mine was interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yours was creepy.
And then I went to the Delta King.
Yours was creepy.
Where did you take your first date?
Karen and I met at Bellabrew to run 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that sounds exciting.
See, that's a bad first date, in my opinion. Now, I know it worked out. Okay.
Well, there's running involved for you, so that's a bad first date. Right off the bat.
So think about this. Okay. Even if I'm in shape.
Which
okay.
you're not.
That's a stretch. Even if I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So think about it. And this is the same category of taking somebody to a movie, right? If you're taking somebody to a movie, you watch the movie. It's a great movie, but you haven't gotten to know the other person very well, right? You didn't have a conversation. Where are you from? Who
We
do you
totally
like?
talked while we were
blah, blah,
running.
blah. Now you're running, you're sweating. When you're talking, you're like, hi, I'm James, and I love long walks on the beach.
Not if you're in shape.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people who run have no problem.
Yeah. You
and I would be like,
yeah. So you're sweating, you got a red face, you are talking and breathing and running, and it's like, that's not a good first date. That's
Really?
not.
Sure
it's
it
really
is.
not. No.
because there's really there's no fake persona when you're doing that.
Exactly. The bar can only go up because our first couple dates were running, and then our first real date was like at the Shady Lady, and then we went to this art exhibit.
Oh,
Or maybe
see,
it was
the
the art
Shady
exhibit, and then the
Lady's good.
Shady Lady was one of the two.
That's a perfect date.
But our first, we ran, then we ran again, and we went to the Federalist afterwards. But
Oh,
we're
that's
just in
also
like
a good place.
sweaty clothes, and we just had pizza and beer afterwards.
there's no
so then
hiding.
once you get dressed up, you're like, oh, hello. Because where it's the other way around. If you see them and they're all dressed up, then you see them later, you're like, hello.
Right. So she sees him at his worst. He's stinky, smelly, sweaty, all
Hey,
that.
I not you guys when you run.
He doesn't sweat.
Well, I sweat, but I'm not stinking. I can't. I don't know what you're talking about when we're running.
Honestly, I could run maybe
To the mailbox.
run to the mailbox, and then that's when I'd be heavy breathing after that. I'd be like, so what is that? 40 steps. And then I'd be like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I gotta check my pulse. Yeah. But
all this for
This is so stupid. And she'd be like, wait, Bill, are you okay? I got to call 911. He's down.
I'm just saying that there is a lot of ladies, right, who have all of these expectations on men in America. And, you see all these TikTok videos and they'll interview them and say, hey, what should a guy who you're going to marry, how much should he spend on a ring? Oh, at least 100,000,
or 3 months salary.
Yeah.
Those are the girls on TikTok.
Right.
That's your problem.
But these are normal girls who don't have any
They're
understanding
not
of
normal
what it
girls.
is,
They're
right?
on TikTok.
No, these are the guys that are on TikTok are the interviewers, right? So he's just going to a club or something like that. And these bucket heads are like, hey, I think they need to make at least $200,000. They need to be in their 20s. They need to have abs. They need to have this and this and this. And I'm worth it. And
They're
it's
asking
like,
girls at the club, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
Even
funny
when
is-
we were young, the girls at the clubs were shallow and shit.
Yeah. Well, that's true too.
You
This is
didn't
true.
meet quality girls at the club.
And in 15 years, you're going to be on the side because he's going to go get somebody else with that money and those abs. And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you actually find that guy,
Yeah.
right? Which is like 0.1% of the people. 20 abs and rich. Okay, yeah, forget it. Right?
Speak for yourself.
You can only get one of those two. Right? Yeah, that's true. But you're not 20.
No.
You're not 20, and you never
used
will
to
be
be.
again.
And I had abs, and I was rich.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, I guess what it is, and here's the funny thing is, the guys that are 20, these are new guys. They want the girls that go to the clubs. So it's on them too, right? So there's like, I want the hot girls that look good in the
Yeah,
club.
guys just want girls. They want
Right.
any girl that talks to them.
Well, yeah, that's true. And any guy's going to take any girl, your country girl, jogging girl, coffee girl, whatever guy will take them. Unfortunately, the expectations are high. You can go to any other country. It doesn't even matter if it's a third world country or first world country, and you've got normal people with reasonable expectations.
talk about serious topics too. I don't care. What's
Really?
happening in the world? I don't care.
Well, we're all getting older.
Hey, there were 3 celebrity deaths.
Who were they?
Matthew Perry, and then
Shaft.
yes, and the guy from Night Court and
He's a nobody.
something else. Oh, jeez, you did this about what's his name who hasn't even come out yet again.
He's a nobody. There is another one. I forget. I saw a thing too, and it's like, this has been a rough month. There was somebody else you're
a
forgetting.
lot of sports players died.
Somebody else you're forgetting.
Random sports players. Oh, the month. I'm not even going back to the month. I'm talking about the last few days.
Yeah, there's somebody else you're missing. It's not the night court guy.
There's a hockey guy and a baseball guy. Actually, like a whole bunch of baseball
The
guys.
hockey guy's an ex-hockey guy.
Well, a whole bunch of baseball guys died this month. Like a lot.
Did I hear somebody talking?
Wouldn't that be weird?
Nobody's here.
Hello? Yeah, they're talking. There's someone here.
Oh, it might be that.
I don't know. I'd go check in there. If you get shot, I'll run.
He's going to use me as a human shield.
My arms will get hit, but all the rest of me will be fine.
Here we go now.
Got an idea for a topic? Who knows? We may reach out and use your suggestion on air. Let us know and visit damnopinion.com.
What's the difference between El Niña and El Niño?
One is female, one is male.
So one of them cries and rains down on you, and then the other one leaves, just doesn't show up.
Yeah, I thought I had read a couple months ago that it was going to be a low rain year.
Well, that was a couple months ago.
They've changed it.
It's actually a low reindeer.
It's a low reindeer.
Yeah.
It's a transitional climate change.
Do you know what Alicia told me just today? Is that when it says a 30% chance of rain, it means 30% in your area, not like a 30% chance that it might rain, but that 30% of the area is going to get rained on.
That reminds me of my college days when people would say, you have a 30% chance of getting laid.
And a 70% chance you won't.
Yes. Right. Just depend in my area. So if I went to a different neighborhood, it could go up.
I always look at it the other way. 20% chance rain, 80% chance it's not.
Exactly. But I'm saying it's saying in your area. So in other words, it's going to rain, but there's a 30% chance that it's raining in your area. Right?
Well, whose area?
Like, let's say we all live in Sacramento. It's the Sacramento area.
Is that what they mean? Because when you type in your city, like let's say Rancho Cordova.
Dude, they have no idea. It's weather.
That's what I'm thinking.
Some AI.
They know about as much about the weather as I do aerodynamics.
Some AI is actually predicting the weather better than the weather people.
It's weather.
Of course
it can't be
is.
predicted.
Yeah, but AI is probably way better than the weather people.
That's probably true.
Have you guys ever been where you're on the edge of a rain cloud? Where you're just standing there on the road and one side of the road is being rained on and the other side is not?
Yeah, yes. I've actually seen the coolest thing ever. I was on the road and the rain, I could see it coming from across a field. And it was, I don't know, 100 feet from me, raining so hard, but the sun was on my side. And there was this brightest rainbow I've ever seen. And I could see where it ended. Like it was 100 feet from me in the field.
That's cool.
And I'm like, could I run and get to the end of the rainbow? I didn't do it. But I'm like, that is
Thank
the coolest
God.
thing ever.
And that is why you're not rich.
I know.
The gold at the end of the rainbow, buddy.
I know.
My gosh.
I was
He
worried
would have
about
never
the
got there.
I was worried about the leprechaun.
I gotta wonder.
You can never touch a rainbow. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course. That's who came up with that brilliant idea. Probably parents who were tired of their kids.
Go chase the rainbow.
Get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, kids.
Somebody very drunk. Or on peyote.
It's visual. It's all a visual thing. It has to do with where you're standing.
It's the old times version of snipe hunting. Remember snipe hunting?
Yeah. There was no television back there. People were on drugs or drunk and they're like, I'm touching a rainbow. You had to entertain yourself back in the day.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Think about how many great things creatively are not being created because we have these iPhones.
We have iPhones, we have televisions, we have headphones, we have everything.
I'm
Think
just
of
saying,
all the great things not being created. Well, I can't because they haven't been created.
right? But I'm just saying, boredom makes people get creative.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, our society's stupid today.
Yeah, I don't say we're stupid. It's just that
No, we're
our
stupid.
attention is totally. They have our attention. So you have to really be a student of the game to be creative now, right? You have to be like, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to resist the entertainment.
I don't think anyone's creative right now because people aren't making brand new ideas for movies or books. They might have better technology. You might have better, amazing scenes and graphics.
Books are still new ideas. Music are still new ideas. Art is still new ideas. Movies are not, because it's not that they're stupid, it's that they want to make money. And we can do Die Hard 87 because we know people will come see it versus some movie that nobody has any idea what it is and we take a chance on it.
Ghostbusters 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But this one has Paul Rudd.
It also has Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
Great. At 85 years old.
Wow.
No, you just said no. Why show me that?
You know what I want to see with Ghostbusters? I want to see The Rock and Jack Black and Kevin Hart as the Ghostbusters. I would pay money for that.
Okay,
one.
so it's Jumanji Ghostbusters.
Yeah, those three guys, right? And then throw in a fourth guy.
Paul Rudd.
whoever. Paul Rudd. Throw in Paul Rudd as the fourth Ghostbuster, right?
No.
That would be entertaining.
It would be really cool.
Would it?
Yes.
It would.
Think about it. The Rock
James
as a
hates-
Ghostbuster.
hates The Rock.
You've already ixnayed it for me.
And then Kevin Hart. That chemistry.
Rock is going to be making live action Moana.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably going to be pretty good, man.
It's probably going to suck balls, is what it's going to be. Name one good live action Disney movie that they've made since they started doing these
Beauty and
live
the
action.
Beast.
No. God.
Did you see it?
Yes.
You saw it.
I watched about 20 minutes of it.
Really?
Yes, it's terrible.
Okay. What about The Little Mermaid?
I've not seen the Little
I didn't
Mermaid.
see The Little Mermaid, but I heard it wasn't that good.
Okay, I saw it. I'm not going to say it was bad, but I did fall asleep, but I was tired. It had nothing to do with the movie.
I was watching Cruella before we went to Ohio. It was terrible. I thought it would be good. It was horrible.
You know,
I like Emma Stone, but it was.
I
not
could tell
good.
you Aladdin was not good.
See,
live action.
this is my point.
That was Will Smith when he was
no,
popular.
wait. What about Lion King? Have they done that yet?
Yeah.
Isn't that one a good
No,
one?
I heard it's terrible.
Okay. But how come it's making billions of dollars every time they
It's
do this?
Disney.
People are, because it's Disney crazies are gonna. It's just like Swifties.
Right.
You could put a poop emoji movie in Disney, and the Disney people would go see it
That's true. That's true.
because it's Disney.
You could put Taylor Swift's poop in a Ziploc and people would go see it.
That's probably true.
Oh my gosh, that would be fun to try. We don't even have to really have Taylor Swift's poop. We could just say it was. See how many people
We just
come.
have to poop ourselves and put glitter in it.
My, I think you just put money in it is what you do. My daughter was over for dinner the other night, and her cat's been, I don't know, having diarrhea or something. So they said, bring us a sample and we'll test it. And my daughter's like, okay. So she takes a big old wad of poop, puts it in a Ziploc baggie.
Yeah.
Then she gets another Ziploc baggie, puts it in there.
Okay.
And then she's like, I can't carry it like that. So she puts it in a brown paper bag. And she puts it in a brown paper bag and she goes to the vet and she goes up to the counter or whatever. And the guy's like, did you bring the sample? And she goes, yeah. And she puts it up on the bag on the counter and he looks at it and he's like, is that in a Ziploc bag? And she was like, yeah. And he's like, I needed like this much. I only needed a little bit. She had a whole Ziploc baggie.
I brought you a Golden Corral sample. It's buffet for everyone.
And then I was like, how was I supposed to know? And it's like, honey, when you take a sample, you just need a little bit.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm sure you're not the first person to come into the vet with a bag full of poop.
So is that true with humans too?
Yes.
Because I might have made a big boo-boo.
How come?
You're like, this container is not big enough.
How come when you go to the doctor and they're like, fill up this specimen cup for urine? You can't even get close. It's like, oh, I went to the bathroom before I showed up here. That's not good.
Yeah. That
You're like
always sucks.
straining.
You're just dribbling out. Oh.
Is this enough? No, it's not, sir.
Yeah, they just need a tiny bit for poop and then just this 3 cups for pee. Yeah.
How? And there's no dignity in that.
No, there
None
really
whatsoever.
isn't.
I mean, you're going up to the person at the counter and they're like, can you fill this cup up? And you know everyone who's waiting in line is like, oh.
Yeah.
The last time I went, they were going to run a bunch of tests. So I walk up and the girl's like, okay, well, you have to take the urine sample. So she reaches behind the counter and hands me the little cup, right? And she's like, okay, you need that. And they want a stool sample. So she reaches down and she gives me this almost like a seat thing that you sit in. Oh. And then another cup, and she puts it on with like a couple sticks all on the counter. And I was like,
you know how
I
to
was
do
like,
that, right?
Are you going to give me a bag? And she was like, oh, that'd probably be good, huh? So she puts it all in a bag, and all I had to do was the urine sample at the doctor, and you take the rest home. But I'm walking around with this bag for all my bodily functions.
Well,
Yeah.
what's funny, people who don't know, the urine sample's simple for guys and girls. You just pee in the cup, right?
It's easy.
But the poop sample, you put that little thing on the toilet. You sit down, your poop drops on that little tray that sits there in the toilet.
Stick the little stick
then
in.
You chopstick the poop into this little cup, and then you bring the cup back to them.
That's how you do it.
When I did it, I was driving to Kaiser, and I called Bill, and I was like, of all people, you're going to appreciate that I have poop on my seat in a bag.
That's true. He did call.
There you go.
Of all the people I know who have poop pictures on their phone, it's Bill.
Yep.
And I was like, what did you name it?
Wait, hold on a second. Didn't you have a poop contest with somebody on your phone?
No, but when the internet first started,
Or you knew somebody who did?
a poop contest?
Yeah, like people would take pictures of their poop and say, look at this log.
No, that's when the internet started. There was a website. I don't know if it's still around. I'm sure it is. RateMyPoo.com. And people,
Of course you found that.
and it's like, of course, some immature person, who knows? Who
Oh,
it
of
was,
course.
sent it to me, and I was just,
so how did you
it's
find
like, that's, I don't know. But I mean, there are some really massive things where like the poop is stuck in the hole and it's just coming out like a giant
Like
axe.
it's out of the water.
It's out of the water. Literally, it's out of the toilet, out of the water.
Like the Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, drop it. You must feel totally empty once that comes out.
Yeah, no kidding. You got to wonder, right? Like what people's bowels are doing.
Have you ever gone in a porta-john?
Oh, God.
I
You're
don't
like,
try- I don't-
what the? Is
I don't
that an
stare
intestine?
down that hole. That hole is terrifying.
I can say I have never pooped in a
You've
Porta
never pooped
potty.
in a porta potty?
never. Mm-mm.
And you call yourself a man.
Ah, yeah. I do not want that one. I do not.
I think I had to once.
Yeah, sometimes you're desperate.
Yeah, you're at a fair after eating the food. It was bad.
Yeah.
I've pooped in a porta potty many a times. Working construction, you don't have a choice.
Well, and
You can hold it all day, or you can go poop.
Okay, but there is a difference. See, I don't have that experience, but because construction is a little bit different than the fair, right? You got 15 guys that might have to go maybe a day in the porta potty.
You obviously have not been to a construction porta potty.
But-
That sits out in the sun and maybe gets emptied once a week.
Okay, but the fair could be full by 10 a.m. of everybody and their mother, right? And their brother.
I did see
and their
someone's
cousin.
mother down there once.
Yeah.
I typically don't have to take a poop when I'm at the fair, though.
Okay, let me ask you this. Here's a hypothetical question. You're there at the porta potty and your wedding ring goes down in the porta potty.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah, I would not go in there to get it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's not worth
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You're buying a new ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because how would you dig that out? No.
What if it's just sitting there right on
Oh,
the
on
top?
top? Can I get a stick?
Yeah, you get a stick.
I get a stick.
You
Yeah.
would get a stick. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you open the door. There's a long line. Stay, everybody. I need to get a
no,
stick.
you know how you do it?
You open up the door. Does anybody have a rubber glove?
No. I would come out with the stick. I'd find a stick and be like, there's treasure down there. And just keep walking past.
That's true. You would. That's exactly what you would do, too. Oh, my gosh.
Who wants to make $20? That's
Stephen King wrote a great story about two guys who were in a huge argument about this piece of property.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy wanted to keep it. The other guy wanted to build model homes on it. And it was construction. And that one guy was keeping the other guy from building. He was losing millions of dollars on it. And so the one guy traps him in a porta potty, literally traps him in the porta potty.
Yeah.
So the only way to get out, and it's hot. It's like 110 degrees out there. And this place is not being worked on. It's an empty construction area. And so he's stuck in a porta potty. He knows he's going to die if he stays there. So he has to get out. So he has to climb down into the porta potty to get himself out.
What book?
This is a fictional.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stephen King short story. It's amazing. It's an amazing story because what happens at the end is great.
Wow.
So
There's
if
a
you get
book
chance.
or a movie like that too, and the guy goes down in the porta potty thing. It'll come to me.
I think that's Harry Potter.
in the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I'm
of
thinking of
secrets down
Star
there.
Wars and the trash compact.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's one where they go down in like it'll come to me. I can see the visual. It's a movie, but it was a book, but it was made into a movie. And there's two kids down inside of it. It'll come to me.
Oh, two kids in the porta potty?
yeah. It'll
Is it
come
a
to me.
Narnia book by any chance?
Could be.
The Lion, the Witch, and the porta potty.
I think it's Frodo and Sam. I think they lost their ring, and they're trying to find their ring in the porta potty.
My gosh. This is so bad.
It had to be the number 2 Narnia, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Who is number 2?
Why don't
Facebook.
you guys just merge bodies?
Oh, we have merged bodies. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, your DNA's already implanted.
Yeah, exactly. Really, if I was going to be a Siamese twin with anybody, it'd be him. That's for sure. I mean, he's already lived my life and I've lived his. So there we go.
Can we talk about something good now?
All right, let's get out of here.
Tune in for our next podcast when you'll hear the big, the bold, and the bald give their opinions on everything entertainment. damnopinion.com